Hello and a very warm welcome to Saturday Confessions right here on TV47. My name is Leangari, and tonight's discussion, indeed one that will shock you but also teach you a little bit about faith. Well, his name is Dennis Mora, also known as Katoi. Dennis is a gospel musician. However, at some point he was a dancer. As he says, he calls it the b-boy dancers. Basically, this is the kind of dancer who dances on his head. Let me say, basically spinning on his head. And well, Dennis happened to break his back through one of the competitions he attended, how he ended up in hospital and declared dead. Yet probably alive. We're yet to know what exactly happened. We are yet to find out today in tonight's show. And indeed, Dennis is in studio. Dennis, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'm excited to hear your story. It's a story that, of course, puts you in a position where you're asking what exactly happened. How could you be declared dead, but yet you're here with us?
Yeah.
Let's begin. Tell me a little bit about your dancing career.
First of all, I want to thank you for hosting me today. It's a pleasure, man. So, for me, I was born in a family where everyone is like a musician. So, I've been in music industry since I was born. But I never used to like to sing. I was more into dance. Yeah, I was more into dance until at around when I was 7 years, that's 7+ years. That's when I started rapping, imitating my uncle.
At what age did you start music and dancing? 7 years.
Yeah.
All right. So what exactly why are you doing in terms of dancing to the point of now coming to the point of breaking your back accidentally?
Like I've told you, I've grown up in a family that all of them are born again. And for me, you know, like the Bible says, like going to church is not all. You have to serve God. So I used to serve God through dancing. Yeah.
When we talk about dancing, and you call yourself a b-boy dancer, well, a former b-boy dancer. What's a b-boy dancer?
B-boy are those guys who you see on Sakata spinning with their heads. Those are b-boys. Yeah. So, and every crew has to have one b-boy. Yeah, so that, you know, if you don't have a b-boy in your group, maybe you end up maybe messy in a competition. Yeah.
All right. So to the point of, you know, you coming to that competition where you were dancing and you broke your back, like you've mentioned, you were dancing in church, you were serving in church as a dancer. Tell us exactly what happened.
First of all, before I even begin, I would like to say this. I'm not giving this testimony maybe to embarrass anyone out there. The reason why I do this is because I want people to believe there is God somewhere. Yeah, that's the main point I always do, because for me, it is not just something to say is a ministry. I minister through this and music. I give hope to those who feel they're hopeless. Yeah. So,
you know, it's interesting. Even before we go so far into your story, you know, for some people, when they go through difficult experiences, their first question is, where was God?
Yeah, exactly.
How could God allow this to happen to me?
Yeah.
And yet you're here. You are walking with crutches. Of course, we don't have them on here right now, but you are literally walking in crutches like you did in the studio.
Yeah.
And for you, you're still having the faith in God, and you still believe there's a God in heaven. Tell me a bit about that.
You know, we cannot assume there is no God. We cannot assume. Actually, let me ask you, when you were in your mother's womb, did you know there is people in the world? You never had that mindset. But when you were born, you came higher. There is another life after this. And that's the only thing that most of the people don't know. They think when you die, it's over. But when you die, there is another life. Yeah. That's what I believe, and that's why I'm doing this.
How are you able to keep your faith? Because you're dancing and serving God in church, and then suddenly you break your back, and this entirely changes your life and takes you through an experience that you remember to this day. So how are you able to just say, you know what, I'm not going to be mad at God? I don't even know whether you were mad at God at some point. Were you mad at God?
Yeah, I was some point, you know. You have that faith, but you have that doubt if there is God. And you start asking yourself, God, where are you? You know. But for me, what I can say that made my faith to that capacity is because I'm a good reader of the Word of God. And like, you know, the Word of God is new every time. If you read John 3:16 today, the revelation that we'll get today, it won't be the same if you read tomorrow.
Let's go more into your story.
Yeah.
On that particular day where you broke your back, tell us, what were you doing then? What was happening?
I was, like I said, I was a b-boy, and we were very young actually. We never had even ID, so we went to this particular dancing competition. It was Sakata, by the way. So we were there showing up, and as a b-boy, you know, there was a lot of groups, everyone to show up, you know, come with a new style, so that maybe people say, this guy is the best in this move. So that's what I was doing. And when I was spinning, I had my backbone twisted. So I thought it was just a simple thing, because I never felt any pain at that time.
You never felt any pain?
I did it.
But yet you heard a crack from your back?
A crack from my back. And shockingly, I woke up and I was okay. And deep down, things were going
wrong
in me. So
at what point did you begin to feel the effects of your back breaking?
On that day that I broke my backbone was a Saturday. And I went back home, and for me, like I've said, I'm used to serving churches. Everywhere I go in a church, I have to serve no matter what. So on Sunday morning, I used to go in my place, on my church place. I arrange the church, the chairs, so that those who are coming for morning glory, they will find the church ready. So I did that, and then I went back home now to bath and come back to the main service. So
this was still on that same day where you actually...
No, this is Sunday now.
This is after now.
After. You see, it was on Saturday that I broke my backbone. Now this is on Sunday morning. So I did what I was supposed to do, and I went back home to refresh and come back for the main service. So I came, and I used to sit at the back. So.
And at this point, you're still not feeling anything?
Nothing.
No pain?
No
nothing.
pain, nothing. Immediately, my body started reacting all of a sudden.
That's on that Sunday?
Yeah, on that Sunday. And all of a sudden, I was sweating everywhere. My fever was high, and shockingly, my leg started twisting itself. I couldn't control. That's why I've told you now I have a stiffness on my neck. So the movement was like strong than me. I want to control it, but I'm out of control. So you see, our church used to be like those plastic chairs. So my leg pushed the front chairs, and the people were...
So you were having a reflex that you were not able to control?
To control. So after that, nilitoka nje, and I went to my place direct. And this is what I said. I said, God, give me a sleep so that when I wake up, I will be okay. Shockingly,
And what was happening at that time? Were people trying to help you?
no.
You were alone?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you manage to recover from that brief attack?
I walked out on myself. I just walked out and I went straight to my room. So after I've told you, when I said like God give me make me sleep, and when I wake up, I know it'll be okay. God
Were you scared at that time?
I was not scared, but I was confused because I don't know what's happening to me. And God did that. I never even finished it, like 3 or 2 minutes. I was in a deep sleep.
When you got home?
Yeah, I went on a sleep, and on that day, that's where my life changed up to now. Can never forget that day. And the thing is, when I wake up, I thought on my mind it is maybe on Sunday afternoon or evening. So I opened my eyes and I saw like this is evening. And I tried to come out of my bed and I tried to move my legs. I found out my legs are not moving. I tried my hands are not moving. Now that made me more confused.
Were you alone? Were you living
I
with
was.
someone at that time?
I was living with someone. That time.
Where was this person at the time?
He was around. Yeah, he was my younger brother. Yeah, I used to live with him. So.
Was he at home that day?
No, he was not at home. But he used to come and go. So I realized that I cannot even move anything. So all of a sudden, I was emotion, tears, and I was asking myself what's going on. And, you know, it's something that I didn't expect. And this is what happened. There is this Jama, you know, I've told you, Nimegoroya ghetto. I've grown in a slum, so there was this guy used to smoke on my door. And every time he smokes, I used to tell him, Manze, peleka bangi zako huko. Hufai kuvutia hapa. Because, you know, inasemekana gani kismoke, moshi kufikie, you are smoking more than me. So, exactly time enye niliamka, it was the exactly time this guy was smoking. And I heard him saying, kwani siku hizi tunaendanga kanisa moja? Like,
He thought you were basically not in church because you decided not to go to church.
Not even that. It's like, simfukuzangi kwani siku hizi natumia.
All right. You know what, Dennis? I want us to take a short break. Very emotional story there. Let's take a short break. And when we return, we'll listen more to your story and just understand how you got help and you're able to sit here. So this is Saturday Confessions. Remember, you can join in the conversation and exactly tell us what you think about Dennis's story. If you have something or a message to tell him, you can do so through our social media platforms, that is TV47KE on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Quite an emotional story there. Don't go too far. We'll be back shortly.
stimuli can be picked from the senses. So you can see here we have the incoming information that is coming in form of the stimuli.
The First World War, the Second World War, of course, is quite much of a spending. And that in post-wars, of course, USA almost emerged as a victor because its economy was quite strong.
The process or the how of gaining evidence so that you can plunge or you can fill in the gap that you have already identified within our first phase of the process.
So we have a variety of categories that we can talk of as vulnerable, where we have the infants and the young children, we have the pregnant and the lactating women, we have the elderly.
Avoid using threatening questions. If you don't tell me today, now are you helping? That's not us. That's not a counseling session. So we say you also avoid what you call threatening. They should always be avoided at any given time in any counseling session.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching Saturday Confessions right here on TV47 with me in studio, Dennis Maura, also known as Kotoi. Dennis was explaining his story before we took a short break. His story quite inspirational, very emotional. I'm definitely trying to hold my tears back. I'm listening to you, Dennis, and so you break your back.
Yeah.
You're now at home all alone, and your brother is not even home. But then there's this gentleman who's your neighbor, who usually smokes at a certain time, but he happens to be there when you've just woken up from the whole ordeal on that fateful day. What happens thereafter?
What happened is I wanted to know time. So, and this guy, like I've told you, I've heard him saying, kwani siku hizi tunaenda kanisa moja. So, the only thing that was active, it was only my voice. So I had to call this guy. His name was Githenji. And Githenji, mambo poa, ebu ingia. So vile aliingia, alizima. Kuzima kaniambia sema. Kamwambia, bro, ningependa unipatililie hii phone kindly. And the phone was just like here. Something that I can just take very easily. And this guy said, unanibeba ujinga, nikupatililie simu uko nayo hapo. So immediately I was emotional again, and he was like, brother, hey, unalia juu nimekata kupatia hii phone iko hapo. Hey, shika phone. Nikamwambia, I can't even hold the phone. Just tell me what's the time. So aliniambia ni 4. 4, na umesikia watu wa church kama wametoka, kaniambia church gani. So like, to me in my mind, it is on Sunday. So nikamuuliza kwani leo ni lini? And he said today is on Wednesday.
Wow. Yeah. So you've moved, the time you got from church and you're back, that was the following day after you broke your back.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're talking about Sunday. That's when you actually crawled from the church, took yourself home,
Yeah,
and now you sleep and you wake up
on Wednesday,
on Wednesday?
4 p.m.
How is this possible?
I don't know. Even today, I've never known how possible it was, but the things of God, you cannot explain.
You were living with your brother,
Yeah.
Dennis. So how is it that you blacked out for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then you wake up on Wednesday? Wasn't there anyone in your house at that time, even your brother who you say you were living with?
You know, this ghetto life, everyone is at his own. Ukinipata nimelala utadhani nilikuwa job, ndo nimekuja nimelala. Wewe ukikuja tena kesho asubuhi unipate the same thing. You'll think the same thing. That was happening. And
Your brother, did he ever come maybe on that Wednesday or some day or two later?
yeah, on Wednesday he came, and the news, this guy broke the news to my family, because where I used to stay, it was a family.
You were living in the same compound?
The same
plot.
compound. Yeah, ghetto tu, nyumba mabati, kila mtu room yake. So Githinji broke the news and said, my guy, your colleague is paralyzed, he cannot do anything.
What did your brother do at that time?
This is where you have to believe in the word of God, because the Bible says, like, your mother and father will forsake you, but I, the Lord, I never forsake you.
Did your brother abandon you or your family? What happened?
They never abandoned me. It was like an ignorance. Like, this guy will be well. Let him be, for sometimes he'll be well.
Were they giving you food?
Shockingly, no. And that's where this guy now, who is not even a Christian, came and like...
This is the guy who used to smoke outside your house,
Yeah.
your neighbor. So
He
he's
could
the one
come,
now who would
yeah.
help you.
He could come from wherever he was and Katoi, umekula, zi, nini. He used to feed me, to take care of everything. Remember, I've come like a baby, so I cannot do anything.
I need to mention this, Katoi. I know when we first got contact, me and you, and as we were speaking, and I tried to ask you if we could speak to your family and just really be in that position where we kind of sat in some of the things you're saying. It's good to also tell the audience that we did try to reach out to your family to understand why they were aloof, why they were not present during this difficult time. Tell us a little bit about that. Why is your family so aloof even about talking about your story and your past?
For me, let me say about what is in me. For me, the word was fulfilling to me. Like, you think you have people, you think people can help you. You see that? As in, mtegemea binadamu amelaniwa. You may think your family will help you, but that's not the way of God.
How do you feel about your family?
That's why I told you, like, I forgive. We did, like, you know, we are in good terms, and forgive and forget.
Let me ask, upon us as TV47 contacting your family, they were not willing to speak.
The reason why even me, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to see my brother like on TV and, oh, this is the guy who abandoned his brother. And akienda kuomba kazi pahali, ambiwe, we know you, we know your character, you see. As in itakuwa, siwezi taka kose hustle yake because of this.
But they are also not willing to really speak about your issue?
Yeah, they are not willing.
Why do you think this is the case?
Let me say, I don't know.
Have you tried to maybe find out why?
Right now, I can't question them because I forgave. I forgave them. And because I did that, I did it from my heart. No one pushed me. But actually, I went through a lot of mentorship from my spiritual father, Ikina, Mr. T. I used to go for Pitson, a lot of people. I've gone through counseling with different people.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Dennis, I want us to get to the point where during this period when you were not even able to feed yourself, you had just a neighbor who was trying to help you, and your family was just basically saying, you'll be fine. And like, Dennis atakuwa tu sawa, you know? So what happened on that day when you ended up in hospital?
First of all, I stayed in my place for 3 months without any medication. And all of a sudden, this madam from Uganda came through, and she was my friend. Now she came and asked, where's Katoi? It was on a Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Then I told Gethenji, I overheard the madam that nilikuwa rafiki naye from Uganda is in Kenya. Would you mind to go and maybe look for her? So Gethenji did it, and he came with the lady. And the lady, it was on a Sunday actually. The lady was supposed to go back in Uganda on Monday. So when she came, aliona situation, akaona hapa hakuna kitu inafanywa, like, and she go ahead, took me to an hospital. But remember, he's going back to Uganda. So he took me to hospital, and he told the family where I am. So
Told whose family? Your family or her family?
My family. The lady took me to the hospital, and then akawambia nimempeleka hospitali fulani na fulani, but mimi nimerudi Uganda because she was like a pastor. Yeah, she was a preacher. So akarudi, and shockingly, no one bothered.
I think even, you know, of course, there's so many questions in anyone's mind who be listening to the story, Dennis. You're saying for 3 months you were staying at home with no medication.
Yeah.
And you are only relying on this one neighbor. And it's 3 months later that this lady from Uganda, who was your friend, decided to come visit you.
Yeah. And let me say, you cannot explain the ways of the Lord. You cannot. So when I was in hospital, by the way, I went for a coma for 1 good week because I was thin. Some
in terms of your body, like you've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I was big than you actually. Big boys are big. So those 3 months made me like, kama mtu akona ukimwi. And there was this day I was, unajua ukiwa ujiwezi unatandikio gunia mahali kuna jua, wote jua. And umelala ujisikii, so the only thing yenye iko active ni macho na masikio.
And all this time, for the 3 months, your family was doing nothing for you?
Yeah.
Okay. I want us to take a short break. When we return, I want us to go now into what happened at the hospital. You've mentioned that the lady actually had to go back to Uganda, but she left you in hospital and told your family that you were admitted in hospital. All right. So we're going to take a short break, but don't go too far. Saturday Confessions will be back shortly.
kutoka maeneo mbalimbali nchini. Tunatamba
na pia ni kuone ukiogelea kidogo tu.
Kuogelea.
Tunasaka, tunazungumza.
I have ridden to school using my father's bicycle.
Ili mradi kukufahamisha wewe katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Nina balance. Uzuri ni kwamba mke wangu pia anafanya kazi. Usinipite Mwokozi, unisikie.
Katika ari na ukakamavu tunawapata. Tunaangazia viongozi waliokuwepo na waliopo kutoka kaunti zote 47 pasi kubagua wala kuchagua. Ungana nami Elizabeth Mtuku kila siku ya Jumatano saa 2 kamili katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching Saturday Confessions right here on TV47. Remember, tonight we're talking to Dennis Mwaura, also known as Kotoi. As you heard earlier on in the discussion, Dennis went through a very difficult ordeal of breaking his back and then later having to depend on Good Samaritans to actually survive for about 3 months. His family, as he says, basically decided to, well, assume that he was going to be okay. But as he has shared before we took a short break, his situation became worse, and luckily a Good Samaritan from Uganda happened to look for you, Dennis, and come to your house and take you to hospital, and also informed your family that you were in hospital. So what happens thereafter?
When I was in hospital, like I told you, I went for a coma for 1 week, and because sikuwa na maji kwa mwili, sikuwa na damu, you see, and my body was like vibrating 24 hours, vibrating. So nilikuwa nafungwa na makamba kwa bed ya hospitali, and after like 3 days the vibration went away, and the only thing yenye ilikuwa ilikuwa tu imebaki kidogo sana. It was not that much. Like,
all right, so you're in a coma for 1 week.
Yeah.
After you had just been admitted
in
hospital.
Yeah.
And then now you're mentioning that for like about 3 days, your body was vibrating. This was during the time you were in a coma or after?
After coma.
Mm-hmm.
That is after coma. So this what happened. On that ward we had 6 beds, and every bed ilikuwa inabeba 2 people. Expect me, so because of the vibration, so I was the only one who VIP hapo. So
quote unquote, you were like a VIP because VIP. You could not be placed next to other patients.
Lakini nimefungwa
because of your body. Mlikuwa umefungwa pia
makamba. So hapo ndio nilirudi, so I can see things, I can talk, and all of a sudden one night nikiwa kwa hiyo ward nilikuwa na watu 10 kila bed imebeba 2, 2, 2, 10. So one night watu madaktari wakafunga duty wenye alikuwa mchana, and everyone was present, na wakaenda home. So tulikuwa tunaitwa register around 5:30 ama 4, tukikunywa uji, and nurse mwenye alikuja kuita register alikuwa anaita na majina, unasema present. Now I was the only one who was present. The rest of the people died that night. 10 of them died on a one night. And kama kawaida body zikatolewa. Actually hapo ndo ilikuwa my first time to experience dead body zikikuwa prepared. Nilikuwa naona ni kama horror, cause I've never seen something like that. And before jioni ifike, watu wengine 10 walikuwa admitted on the same ward. And hiyo night tena walikufa wote.
How is that? I mean, Dennis, what do you feel about around 20 people you're saying?
Yeah.
Wote wamekufa? Because all of them wameletwa kwa ward yako.
Ward yenye niko.
Na wewe bado uko alive.
Niko alive.
So what was going through your mind when you were seeing all those things happening? And actually, what were the nurses saying? This gentleman here is surviving, but every 10 people we've brought?
Now, the second time, the first time nobody was like this guy. Now the second time, there was something, as in, who is this guy? Hanaga visitors, and people are dying. And this guy is alive here. Like, but to me, I think God was speaking through that situation, as in, Dennis, you are not dying, I have a purpose for you.
But what were the nurses saying? The ones who were seeing, you know, the first group of 10 died, and then the second group died, and you were still alive.
Now this is what, there is this doctor who came and say, you know, a guy, tumeona watu kama wewe, mnakuja from nowhere, yet mmekuja kumake sacrifice kwa hospitali. The reason why he was saying that, because I don't have visitors, nobody know about me, mwenye alinileta ni mteja, so who am I?
Did the lady from Uganda leave details in the hospital about your family?
She never named, because she...
Even her own details?
She was like, you know, I've told your family, so they should take it from there. So no detail.
And did your family visit?
No.
No one, not even friends?
No one. No one visited.
Not even Githinji, the one who was your neighbor?
Githinji was... He was a Form 4 actually. So he was from school home. You see, haezi manage kukuja. And that was it. Now, hii mara pili huyo daktari kuniambia tumeona wengi kama wewe. And he went ahead and like gathering preachers who came to evangelize to the sick people, to pray for them. Like, Kambia, there is a guy inside that ward, kindly go make a prayer. And the guys came and make a prayer, and shockingly, walirudisha watu. The same number. The same night, they died.
Again. This is another third round of
third round. Those are dirty good souls.
And you were surviving?
I'm surviving.
All right, what happens thereafter, Dennis?
Night became like a movie. Bro, unatuchezea akili hapa. So like, who are you? So walipiga masimu, wakaita mapasta. intercessors, everyone who knew how to pray well, he was invited. And wakatoa vitanda nje, nikaekwa kwa hiyo ward hapo katikati. Nikatolewa nguo, so like nilikuwa naked.
At this point, you're basically saying that these guys, the nurses, the doctors,
Yeah.
the fact that they even called intercessors, they were
Yeah.
thinking, like you said,
I'm
you're
from
probably
devil worship.
you're a devil
Yeah,
worshipper,
yeah.
and you're in the hospital to sacrifice people.
sacrifice
So they
people.
thought you were there. You're the reason why those people were dying.
Exactly. So they went ahead and anoint me. I was like, "Ngeniono shingisha mandazi kwa mafuta hivi utoe." That's how I was shining.
Anointing, you
Yes.
meaning the oil.
The oil.
They like a
They
church
poured-
minister will pour on
they
someone when they're praying
poured
for them.
a lot of oil.
So then what happens thereafter?
You know, the usual prayer, who are you? Say your name, devil. And like, amekushika mdomo na nguvu. Where do you come from? Nini? Pepo sijui nini, utangamiza watu wa Mungu.
How are you feeling,
whatever.
Dennis, considering what you'd gone through
You know,
before that?
For me, I think I had God was giving me strength, because when this guy was asking me, who are you, say your name, I answered him, my name is Dennis. I'm not that who you think I am. And after that prayer, the beds were brought in and new people are admitted.
This is the fourth round.
The fourth round.
What happened this time?
Now this time, you remember walipoenda waliacha Biblia kwa meza beside me. Like, wacha tuache hii Bible hapa. It was this small New Testament Bible. And wacha tuache hii Bible hapa, si akijaribu kurelease neno ya Mungu iko hapa. So now this morning, everyone was present. Expect me.
What do you mean by that?
I mean this, that they confirm I was dead. Not
Wow.
this was not a confirmation from a nurse, a confirmation from a doctor. Ule daktari mwenye aliniambia mimi ni devil worshiper, yeye ndo aliconfirm na akasema it's over.
I have a question. Who told you this, by the way? Who told you what happened at
Now-
the time when the doctors came that morning and said that you have been declared dead?
I had this friend of mine, she was a nurse. And this lady, alinotice sinaga mtu wa kunifeed na sinanga visitors. So he'll come, feed me, have a chat with me, and maybe ask me, would you mind if I could bring some juice to you maybe tomorrow? That's how nilikuwa tu na huyo nurse mmoja mwenye nilikuwa naongea naye.
Dennis,
Yeah.
wacha tuchukue break. Your story, Dennis. Wow. Let's take a short break. We'll be back shortly. Remember, this is Saturday Confessions. I want us to take a short break, and then we come back to this story and understand how is it that Dennis was declared dead. And he sits right here with me. Don't go too far.
Uandishi wa habari uliokwenda darasani na kufuzu vyema umetua rasmi. Lengo lake kuu ni kufahamisha jamii kwa taarifa ya kina kupitia upeo wa TV47 unaotua kwa safari yenye hatua mpya na mwonekano wa hali ya juu. Kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni, Clifford Ndubi na Andrin Kilemi wanaibuka kwa taarifa stadi. Andrin Kilemi atarejea tena Jumanne saa 1 jioni kwa ukurasa mwingine wa habari. Siku ya Jumatano, Salome Mwiruri ndiye atakayepasua mbarika ya habari, na miale ya jua itakapotua magharibi siku ya Alhamisi, Emmanuel Terer na Liz Mutuku watatua usukani wa upeo. Mnamo Ijumaa, Paul Kirobi na Fiona Kenga watadadavua habari kwa njia ya aina yake. Jumamosi haujasazwa, nahodha wako Corazon Safen atahakikisha meli haikwendi mvange. Josh Onsare ndiye atakayevalia njuga taarifa siku ya Jumapili, nia kubwa ikiwa kufunga wiki kwa mpigo. TV47, nyumbani mwa taarifa nadra zisizopakuliwa kwingine.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching Saturday Confessions right here on TV47 with me, Dennis Mwaura. Dennis, we are at the hospital at this moment as you're narrating your story. And before we took a short break, you mentioned that you have been declared dead.
Yeah.
What happens next?
I was done every preparation that everybody has to be done, but like I've told you, the ways of God are not the ways of men. I was not taken to a morgue. I was taken to a semi-morgue.
What's a semi-morgue?
A semi-morgue is like hawana hizo fridge za kuweka hizo bodies.
Oh, kwenye morgue wanaweka kwa like the freezer. But in this case, your body is just somewhere.
It's just somewhere.
Where was your body at that time?
My body was somewhere inside that hospital, on that building.
In what you have called a semi-morgue?
Yeah, a semi-morgue, and that was it. They say, you see, tuliacha Bible hapa na now this is what I was told by this nurse. Alikuwa anasema uliacha Bible ndo umekufa. You know, it's like they believe your Bible ndo ilifanya nikakufa.
Oh, wow.
And
but how did you know that's what they believed?
That is after. Okay. That is after. Because walikuwa washachoka. And
how long was your body in the semi-morgue?
3 days.
What did you say?
3 days.
3 days.
I spent 3 good days on a semi-morgue, on a body bag actually. And there was this guy who pia alikuwa ameletwa kwa semi-morgue amekufa, so alikuja karushwa juu yangu. So kurushwa juu yangu, that's when I nearly come back. And in my mind I knew I'm in a hospital bed. But nikienda kutoa ni kama unajifunua blanketi, I noticed this is not a blanket. Something is going on. And the guy mwenye alikuwa ameleta body alisikia movement. Na pia mimi juu nimesikia movement akitoka, so I wanted to know what's going on. Nikatulia na the guy akatulia. So he's like, oh, everything is okay. Then nikasikia aki step out. Venye ali step out, mimi nami nikafungua ile body bag pole pole. And nilijipata naked. And that's why I knew I was not in the right place.
What did you see when you woke up? What was around you?
Bodies. in a
Dead
body
bodies.
bag, dead bodies in a body bag. Zingine wamerap na shuka fulani hivyo, so niliamua walk out, and
How did you walk out, Dennis?
I crawled like a baby. How babies do when they're about to walk. That's what I do. And remember, I was naked. So now this guy kumbe hakuenda mbali, alienda tu, alikuwa na smokia tu kando ya mlango ya hiyo semi morgue, and alisikia movement, so akiingia nilikuwa nishaanza kucrawl, so tulipatana naye kwa mlango, pap yakahepa.
He ran out.
Yeah.
You were meant to be dead.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to imagine this person sees someone who was declared dead.
Dead.
He's been in the morgue, which is you in this case, for 3
Yeah,
days.
for 3
and then
days.
suddenly he sees someone.
Someone
So what was happening? I mean, the first gentleman who saw you ran away, then
ran
what?
away. Then there was like, this guy said, kuna mtu amefufuka huko. So the hospital management was like, what's happening? What is that? Now the doctor came and saw this guy hajakufa. What? So people walikuwa wananiangalilia huko tu, but all of a sudden huyu nasa alikuja na shuka akanifunika, akaniweka kwa wheelchair, akanipeleka kwa ward, like, you know, humanity ilikuwa ndani yake, and God was using her for my story. And nikiwa kwa ward sasa, after nimetolewa huko, the discussion was, let's finish this guy once and for all.
Finish, in this case, kill you?
Yeah. The doctor was saying...
This is the same doctor who thought you were a devil worshipper?
Yeah. Because they have papers already. This is a dead person. The paper imepigwa stamp. Ni ipelekwe ngoje siku ya mochari ile. So it's like, I have a death certificate na niko alive. And
did they try to kill you?
This is what happened. The doctor was actually want to do so, but this nurse said to him, like, if he'll do, I'm out of it. So you guys do alone. So there was like, basi hatuwezi fanya kama huyu akisema yuko anaweza tusaliti, maybe tupoteze job nini. So walibaki tu wame accept the situations, and nilipelekwa kwa hiyo nini, and kidogo nikaanza kurecover, and within even 3 days nilikuwa na walk kidogo, so bili yangu ilikuwa 100 and something thousand, and that is nimespend huko 8 good months. And all of a sudden akasema, you know, sasa uko fiti, just go and uhilia kwa nyumba. And all of a sudden something came. My memory came back, and nikakumbuka namba ya family. So nikapiga nikamwambia nikujie saa fulani. And he was afraid actually, and said sawa nitakukujia, but alikuja kitu saa moja hapo, because nilikuwa na kila papers, so tulitoka tu.
All right. So Dennis, you managed to go back home.
Yeah.
And now you're healing back at home. Okay. So your family, did they come back into your life?
No.
Are they in your life at this moment?
Yeah, at this moment.
Do you guys have a relationship?
Yeah, we do.
You're now a gospel artist.
Yeah.
Briefly mention that to us as we come to a close.
Right now I'm doing ministry. I'm a gospel artist, and I'm also a songwriter. I'm a video director too. Yeah, so that's what I do. Yeah, but ministry is my life. Ministry is my life.
What would you say about being given another lease of life?
This is what I tell people. Don't wait until you're dead. Yeah, just give your life to Christ when you're alive. I'm here to God, manze, me God name surrender, manze, because for real, if it was not for Jesus, I don't think we could be here. Hatungekuwa hapa tunaongea. Hatungekuwa hapa tunaongea.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dennis Mwaura, for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
It's very emotional.
Actually,
trying to hold back my tears.
Actually, the full story is on my YouTube channel.
And I'm sure they'll also get it here from TV47.
COG Kenya.
Thank you so much,
You're
Dennis
welcome.
Mwaura. Nimeshukuru sana for coming over.
Thank you.
That has been Dennis Mwaura, just sharing his story. I don't even know what to say or how to close tonight's show. I am just a little bit emotional. You know, this story is very emotional, basically. Just trying to think of what he's gone through, being declared dead, and now he's alive. We give thanks to God. Thank you for watching tonight. This has been Saturday Confessions, only on TV47. My name is Leangari, and our sign language interpreter is Anne Wairimu. Thank you for watching. Until... Well, I actually want to end the show, but I'm told that there's a caller. Hello? Hello, TV47. Oh my God. Are you guys serious? Okay, guys. Okay. Oh, you guys. All right, thank you so much. Mwah. Many thanks to my team. Thank you so much. Well, guys, actually today is my birthday. I grow a year older. As much as we're getting a sad story, I mean, I'm so touched by you guys. My team right here, TV47, of course, many other people who are watching. Thank you so much for taking time to wish me a happy birthday. Remember, again, this has been Saturday Confessions. I'm very grateful. And they're still singing. I'm very grateful for... Oh, my God. Oh, God. Okay, fine, guys. Hey, my wish. I want, you know, on this very hard day, I want cheesecake, some cheesecake and, you know, some pizza perhaps, lasagna. Thank you so much, guys. Well, this has been Saturday Confessions again. Thank you for watching. My name is Leangari. My sign language interpreter tonight has been Anne Wairimu. Until next week, same time, same place. Take care and stay safe, by the way. Stay quarantined and keep your social distance. God bless.